Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. So friends, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about how to communicate something that is not your responsibility. Now friends, many a times in your workplace, what could happen is that somebody tries to give you a task that is not your responsibility, that is outside your domain. Now, what do you do in such a situation? Well, one scenario is that you clearly refuse that, hey, this is not my responsibility. But the risk there is that you would come across as somebody who's very rude. And once that perception is made, I'm sure you know the damage that happens once a wrong perception is made about you. What is the solution in this case? Well, the solution is to be polite and redirect. And while doing that, it is very important that you use the right words. So I've given you 4 scenarios out here. What could happen when something is not your responsibility and how you communicate in that situation. Let's start with scenario number 1. When the task belongs to another team, right? It does not belong to you, it belongs to another team. What do you say in such a case? I don't think my team owns this, but I believe the billing team would be the right place to check. You've been polite out here. You've told them that my team does not own this, but this team owns this. So much better than saying, hey, this is not my responsibility. I'm afraid I can't help you, right? And of course, you've provided the solution also. So that is scenario number 1. Scenario number 2 is you can only help with part of the task, not the entire task, right? What do you do in such a case? You can say something like, I can help with the project, but the final timeline would need to come from product. You've clearly stated that you can only help with part of it, right? You've defined your capacity, that your capacity is limited out here, and you prevented assumption. Let's say if you were to take the entire task without saying this, well, then you would be responsible for a part of the task which is not your responsibility, and then you would have to coordinate. That will put you in a very difficult situation. So it is very important that you communicate, I can help with this, but not with this, because that particular task needs to come from this particular department. That's scenario number 2. Scenario number 3, you can't make the decision. The decision maker is somebody else. How do you communicate? I can't share the details from the client call, or I'm sorry, I can share the details from the client call, but I'm not the right person to make the final call on the release date. Right? You've clearly communicated that you can do this, but you are not the final decision maker. The final decision rests with somebody else. Right? You've offered helpful information and you've deferred the authority. You've told them very clearly that this is not something which you can decide. And the final one is when you want to be direct but still polite, right? Let's look at this. I'm afraid this sits outside my area, but I can point you to the right person. I think Anna from finance would be the best contact, right? You've clearly said that, hey, this is not my area, but this is the right person. You've guided the person to the right authority, right? So that is what professional communication is all about, friends. So whenever a task comes to you which is not your responsibility, you have to be very careful the way you communicate. You've got to come across as somebody who's helpful and not as somebody who's directly says, hey, this is not my responsibility and I don't care, right? That could damage your professional reputation, your career, and your future promotions. So finally, friends, the golden rule of pushback is you don't have to own the task to own the handoff. Guiding colleagues to the right destination protects your boundaries while proving your value as a collaborative professional. Right? Collaborative professional, these 2 words are very important, friends, while you're communicating that something is not your responsibility. So friends, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please smash that like button. Please do subscribe to this channel because I keep coming up with videos like these to help you improve your English and your communication skills. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.